all doing really well. Today I'm going to be talking about how I manifested friendships even before moving to New York. Before we get into it, you are more than welcome to subscribe. On this channel we talk about all things self-development, so if that sounds good to you, I would love to have you here. So this was a requested video, and I totally understand the want for a video like this because it is scary moving to a new country when you don't know absolutely anyone. The way that I manifested this made friendships come to me so easily and seamlessly that I didn't even have to try at all. Everything just attracted towards me and fell into place so seamlessly within literally, not even within a week, like literally even before I moved to the US. The first thing I did was use affirmations. Now this is the one line that helped me the most. I felt the most powerful, and I believe that the feeling that you get once you're saying this out loud is the most important thing. You have to actually feel it and know that it's happening right now. So the line is, I connect with others easily and deeply. This was such an easy one for me to keep on saying. I swear the moment that I started saying this out loud, people came to me left, right and center in Australia and New York. The thing is that I felt a certain power when saying this, and I knew that it was true. I connect to others easily and deeply, and just knowing that and remembering that in the back of my head made me attract so many people into my life. The second thing I did was visualize. I would lie down in a quiet, dark room and just imagine myself laughing so hard with tears in my eyes around amazing, awesome people. Like, I would just imagine random faces, random people in my head and literally laugh and be so happy, and just knowing that I am so happy right now in New York around all of my amazing friends.
Did you have an awesome time? Did you drink awesome shooters and listen to awesome music and then just sit around and soak up each other's awesomeness?
The third thing is I would be really open and receptive to any opportunity, whether it's right now or in a couple of months. I just knew that whenever it would come to me, I would be open to it. I would just release and I would let go everything that I was expecting to happen. Now, a funny thing happened. When I did let go, I started just acting out of inspiration and love and excitement, and started doing things that just felt exciting for me, and I was just open for anything. I wasn't clasping onto one specific way of doing things, like, oh my god, I have to go on Bumble BFF straight away, I have to reach out to all of these people. So the funny thing is I started to become friends with people in New York before I even moved to New York, which just blows my mind. First of all, I would be talking about New York to every single person just in conversation, right? You're talking to someone and they're like, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, preparing to move to New York. I really want to move to New York. Even before it was finalized, signed, sealed, and delivered, I would just talk about it all the time. Now, I don't really recommend doing this now, because towards the end of it, before even getting it, I was starting to feel a lot of pressure, because literally everyone around me, my boss, all of my friends, all of my family, literally randoms on Instagram, would know that I wanted to move to New York, and it just wasn't happening. The pressure that it put on me was huge, so that was really hard, so I don't recommend this. But if you feel like you have a safe space to talk about stuff like this, or you can just joke around and start mentioning New York just randomly to other people, and because you are so open and receptive to moving to New York and making friends, people are gonna start mentioning people that either want to move to New York or already live in New York. Now, this is to your benefit, because you can reach out to those people and say, hey, I know so-and-so. Literally the easiest way to make friends is from knowing someone mutually. So with big major cities like New York, London, you become friends with people at supersonic speed, because this is such a huge city and so many people suffer from loneliness, or it's really hard to make friends for some people. But when you do find those people that you resonate with and that resonate with you, you become friends so fast, and once you're in that mindset, it becomes really easy to make friends. When I was in Sydney, I would always be like, it's hard to meet a man, it's hard to meet friends. And I would come across the same people in New York. Oh, it's hard to find a boy that actually wants a relationship. Oh, it's hard to meet people here because everyone has their own clique. Listen, you are saying that because maybe you've experienced that in the past, and I totally get that, but you have to recognize that that is a limiting belief, and as soon as you let that belief go, it's as simple as just deciding to let go of that belief right in this moment and say, no, actually everything is neutral. Actually, I can meet people. It's actually really easy. Listen, It is whatever you say it is. Every single thing is neutral. If you say that you can't find one friend in New York, you're not gonna find one friend in New York. So you have to be open and receptive to any possibility out there. That was what I did, and it wasn't because I moved to New York. It was a mindset switch that I made in Sydney. And I started making friends in New York when I was already in Sydney. And by the time that I flew over to New York, I had good, stable friendships. It was the easiest transition from moving to Sydney to New York. So this is when you start to take action, right? Whether you're still in your hometown or you're in New York, reach out to those mutuals that mentioned, people that have lived in New York, right? So you can reach out to them and be like, hey, I know this person, we have a mutual friend, do you want to catch up for coffee, or do you want to talk, blah, 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 get to know each other, go have a coffee, go for a drink. And again, as I was saying, New York is super, super easy and flowy. Everyone is super open here, and everyone is always down to make friends. So it's really easy to reach out, and people love when other people reach out. Okay, so this way of making friends is really, really specific, but it's actually the thing that made me meet people the most. It was the easiest thing for me, right? So I was watching a lot of YouTube vlogs just to get into the mindset of New York. I was manifesting, I was planning, and I was just kind of getting in gear and figuring out how to make it in New York, how to live in New York, like all of the day-to-day things, right? And that was really beneficial to me. A little tangent here. While I was manifesting it, it's actually really crazy. That worked so much that when I moved to New York, it did feel new. Like I felt like, okay, physically I'm new, but mentally I've been living in New York since I was 23. Like that's how hard I was manifesting it, right? To the point of watching YouTube vlogs, right? So, and this wasn't me being like, I have to make friends. Okay, I wish someone told me this literally when I first started speaking. Like, listen, when you're in that mindset of I have to make friends, I have to find someone, and you're in that anxious mode of, oh my God, why don't I have friends? Oh, I have to go out and do something about it, but why can't they do something about it? That is the most negative mindset that you can be in, and I was in there for a really long time, trust me, and I wish someone told me this. Manifest friendships. Be open and receptive. Let it go. And this is the most important thing. Trust that it's going to come in the most perfect time. When I was going and watching YouTube videos and YouTube vlogs, I wasn't in my head thinking, oh, I'm gonna make so many friends doing this. I'm gonna reach out to all of these smaller YouTubers and ask to hang out, and they're all gonna be my friends. And I had this ploy, right? No, I was watching YouTube videos because I was having fun with it. I was following my inspiration. It's exactly what I wanted to do, right? I started commenting, briefly every second video just because the people that I did find, they came to me and I suggested, listen, that just attracted them. They were the people that really resonated with me, and I started talking to them, and I didn't even seek them out. One of them was an Australian YouTuber, and she moved to New York, and she was kind of a year ahead of me in the process, and we literally met up the first week that I moved to New York. She introduced me to all of her Australian friends, and we became so tight-knit, so close. Literally within a couple of months, we went to Miami together. We went to Rolling Loud together. We went to the Bahamas together, and we were so close-knit and tight. And that was all because I was following my inspiration, and I was like, I want to comment on this girl's YouTube. I want to reach out to her. It didn't even feel like I was putting the action in. It was like I was being led to it. That's the thing that people don't understand with the law of attraction and manifesting. Yes, you're putting in the action, but the thing is with that is when you're actually in the flow of something, you can't differentiate between you putting in the action and it coming to you, because every action that you do, it doesn't feel like action. It just feels like this is the next natural process. Like, of course I'm going to do this. If it feels forced, it's not meant to be like that, right? You have to feel like it's a natural thing. It doesn't even have to be like out of love, which is more important. It is like out of love and out of flow, and like whatever is like inspiring and exciting to, yes, but it also can be just, okay, this is like the next natural step. And I didn't even think about it, right? So that friendship was really, really important and crucial in making myself feel so at home, because we would talk about, our own perspectives. Australian perspectives living in the US is obviously very different to someone from Thailand moving to the US, or someone from a different state in the US moving to New York. Another thing that I didn't really plan, and I swear, if I didn't manifest this might not have happened, because how many times people move with a company because it's a global company? How many times do they move but, they don't make any friends? Like, just because it's a company, it doesn't doesn't mean you're gonna automatically make friends, right? The way that it happened for me was absolutely insane, and I still think about this now, and I'm like, the way that the world works is insane. Like, if something is meant to happen, or if you're manifesting it and it's all coming into fruition, it just falls so quickly and easily, like you don't even have to do anything except for manifest, right? Okay, so this story, it's crazy. So the moment I decided to move to New York, I was 23 years old. This was in 2019, right? I decided this, blah, 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 blah. One girl from Daily Mail, New York, moved to Australia. Literally the moment that I decided to move to New York, right? We all went out, we all went to a house party. I met her, she was like, oh my God, I'm gonna give you the contact details for, you know, the recruiter or the HR person at dailymail.com, because it's the same company, but it's different. So we started to get along and start to talk, blah, 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 blah. Listen, she's one of my friends right now because she was in Australia, blah, blah, blah. She was telling me all of the tips and tricks, whatever. She moved back May 2020, and literally when I moved, she like introduced me to all of the people at the company at dailymail.com. Then someone that I wasn't even friends with when I had a closed mind, he was a show business reporter. He moved in 2019 as well, the moment that I decided that I wanted to move to New York, right? He became such good friends with this girl that moved to Australia for 6 months, right? They became besties, and then I started reaching out to him because I just felt drawn to reach out to him. He was an Australian reporter at Daily Mail. He literally went through the same thing. It was like only natural for me to reach out to him, and so we kept in contact, and then they became good friends. They formed a group. And by the time that I moved there, I was literally already in the group, and I didn't even have to do anything, and it was just so easy and seamless. And it got to the point where it was only a week of me being in New York, and I already had 2 separate groups, my Australian group and my Daily Mail group. And it was literally like, I didn't do anything but manifest. I said my affirmations, I visualized, and I knew that I had these friends now, and I just let it go. And I wasn't thinking like, oh, I connect with others easily and deeply. I connect with others easily and deeply. I just let it go, and I was like, why do I need to manifest anymore? Like, it's done. And I was excited, and I was willing, and I was receiving. It came to me, and it was the easiest process. So then I was also commenting on this other girl who is from California originally, and she moved to New York like 2019 as well. So then she moved to New York, and then I started watching her vlogs, and we got really close, and she was like, when are you moving to New York? Like, she was literally dead ass waiting for me. And by that time, because I moved in 2021, all of 2020, all of these groups were forming. She formed a group, and then by the time that I met her, and sometimes you meet people and you're not really getting along with them. I got along with her like a house on fire. She introduced me to her other friend who was a YouTuber who has 100k subs, and like we got along because we had so much in common, and we just all had so much in common. And then like all of her friends kind of took me under their wing as well, and they're like, oh my God, you're gonna love California, you're gonna love this, you're gonna love that, like you're such an American now, like it's crazy, blah blah blah, you're so Americanized, which is insane. And I just had this open and loving and receptive kind of vibe to myself, right? And everything just fit so perfectly. People just started messaging me out of nowhere. So this other girl from Daily Mail, she was in social, she was like, hey, do you want to go get drinks? I got drinks with her, and listen, I didn't even know that she had her own group that was literally one of the video producers in my department. She was like best friends with her. And then this other girl who was presenting for TikTok, she was also in that group. So it was all like video/social as another group. So I'm sitting here like, I'm literally in 4 separate groups right now, like video and social at Daily Mail, Daily Mail reporters, my YouTube crew, my Australia crew, and I'm just like, I girl bossed too close to the sun, but not really, because I loved it. And I literally had like 20 friends within like a couple of weeks, and I'm like, I am so powerful, this is insane. When people say, oh, it's the law of assumption, I do not affirm for shit. I understand that you have to switch your mentality, right? And you can manually, like a robot, keep affirming and saying, I attract things easily and deeply. I attract people and connect with them easily and deeply, whatever. And you can kind of force yourself to replace those thoughts. But I did it in an easier way. I didn't have to work hard. Those negative thoughts automatically went out of my mind because I was manifesting and I was using the law of attraction, and I told myself and I felt that I had those friends now. I just felt it. It was a decision and it wasn't anything else. And I could feel it coming, and I knew that it was coming, and I had faith and I let it go. And it just came to me. Now, I do love the law of assumption because I don't believe you have to wait for 2 years to get what you want. I believe obviously you have to mix in the law of attraction and the law of assumption. But trust me when I say you don't have to keep affirming every single second whenever you have a negative thought. That is really good to do if you're not doing anything, but an easier route to take is to really master deciding and feeling and knowing and having faith that you have it right now. The most powerful and easiest way for me was through visualizing and then letting it go. I think that you should try literally everything and use what is the easiest thing for you, because the law of assumption states it is literally whatever you say it is. There's no rules. Literally, you can do anything and you can manifest it into reality. When I'm in the flow and I'm just following my happiness and I'm following, my inspired action, that's when it's going to come to me. And there are so many different techniques for the law of attraction and the law of assumption that you can do. But through practice, through doing different things, I know that using visualization and then saying generic things like everything is going my way, I connect with others easily and deeply, when I feel like it and actually feeling it as well, that is also very important. You don't have to forget about it, but you have to let it go. Because of the law of attraction, I changed my thoughts and assumptions to I'm going to attract the right people into my life. So yes, that was an assumption. I'm not knocking the law of assumption. I love the law of assumption. I use it every single second of every single day. We all are, right? We all know this. But I am intentionally using the law of assumption every day, just like I am with the law of attraction. When I use both of them, it just comes effortlessly for me, right? Like crazy fast. The most important thing is to stay open and not have a specific expectation of how it's going to happen or what kind of people are going to be the people that will be your friends, right? So just be open and receptive, and it's going to come naturally. That's what I love about the law of attraction and the law of assumption. And when you start actually using it and not listening to all of these TikTok trends or all of these like whatever is trendy right now, when you listen to yourself and what feels right for you, there's no going back. There came a point where I became more selective with my friends. I found myself sometimes feeling very negative with some people that I spoke to, and I'm like, you know what, that's fine, whatever, if I just move to a new city and a new country, because I need to make as many friends and connections as possible to meet other friends and people, and just be as open and receptive and welcoming as possible. And I'm not saying stop all that once you've settled in, not at all. But what I'm saying is there comes a point where you're going to start feeling more selective and being like, I'm going to find people that are more fitted to myself and my personality, and you still stay open and receptive and welcoming and kind to everyone always, but also you set your standards and you hire them, and when that happens, it's insane. So I got to a point where I'm like, I'm gonna hire my standards, and I want a specific friend, I want specific qualities in a friend, because you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. Listen, I'm not going to be saying the specific people that have come into my life that want to ask me out, that are literally like buying me drinks, friends, not dates, friends, are asking me out to all of these exclusive places in New York, because I heightened my expectations and I was like, I am open to and receptive and I love everyone, but at the same time I know exactly what I want in a friend, and I'm going to elicit those qualities in myself, and I'm going to be working on them as well, and I'm going to be open and receptive, and I'm just going to be flowing and following what I want to be doing. So I joined Equinox because that's what I was manifesting, and that's something that also I'm loving to do. So it's not all just about, if you're set on friendships, oh my god, it's all just friendships. No, let it go. You're not just following and manifesting friendships. then I started manifesting. You know, it's all about becoming the best version of yourself. I was manifesting a great gym. I didn't like Blink. I didn't like Planet Fitness. And then I joined Equinox, and that was something that was incredible for me, changed my life. And as I was working out, posting stories of the gym and blah, 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 someone replied to my stories and she's like, I'm going to be rejoining Equinox and we're going to work out together. And this was someone that she was literally at the standard that I set like myself to be. Like I was like, these are the qualities that I want in a friend. And she was the one who came to me. So I attracted that. If you follow these steps with friends and relationships and career and in anything, your life will never be the same. I promise. So I hope that provided you with some value. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.